Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, B'tahagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, B'tahagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam umlo. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam umlo. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, B'tahagel haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome everyone to Congregation Va-Dor's Shabbat celebration. After a lot of research and polling, we found out that there's an inverse correlation between the length of my remarks and the enjoyment that people have for the Shabbat celebration. Therefore, I'm going to abridge, circumcise, if you will, somewhat my remarks on this Shabbat. And I hope that it'll be very enjoyable for you, and also feel free to share with us your feedback for how we can do better. You know, Kirk Douglas was actually Jewish. I forget his actual name, but I'm sure many of you know it and you can look it up. But he was born Jewish and raised as a traditional Jew. But he left Judaism and had nothing to do with organized religion, sadly. Why? Because he said God doesn't need our thanks and our prayers. And he's right. The traditional concept of God, of some supernatural being who created the entire universe, who needs to hear his name blessed and exalted, and who really cares what we think. If he was that superior to everything, it would be insignificant to have to hear some people on the third rock from the sun in a remote galaxy and solar system. It would be inconsequential. He's right. The concept made no sense. Unfortunately, he never knew about another type of Judaism, a progressive type of Judaism that does not share prayers because we think God needs our thanks, but because we benefit by giving thanks for all that we have around us and appreciating it and marveling and wondering and being filled with a sense of awe for all we have and not taking anything for granted. In this spirit, we offer our thanks. And so we share Shabbat with you in a non-traditional way, but for the first time ever, we also are offering a traditional Shabbat celebration, which you can also hear with cantorial soloist Andrew Susman. We're thrilled to have both of these offerings for you. And to make this Shabbat celebration complete, we have Marjorie Goldman Spaderna, who's leading us in the Kiddush. It's appropriate because the Kiddush, the wine is sweet as she is, and she's helped lead our social action committee for years, which has sweetened up the lives of many people throughout the community. We also have Dr. Marcy Weiss leading us in the candles. It's appropriate also because as a therapist, she helps people to become enlightened and to turn the lights on from the subconscious mind so that people can lead a more fruitful, happier life. I thank them both for participating. I thank you for joining us, and now let the Shabbat celebration begin.
Good evening, everyone. Come, let us welcome Shabbat and give thanks for its light. May our homes shine with the lights of Shabbat and our hearts glow with Shabbat joy this week and every week. We welcome Shabbat and give thanks for its light. And now as we light the Shabbos candles, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. May we be blessed with Shabbat joy. May we be blessed with Shabbat peace. And may we be blessed with Shabbat light. Shabbat Shalom This evening, in memory of my parents, I'd like to read a poem that is very dear to me and touches my heart, and I hope that it touches your heart too. The poem is called Memories. We do not need a special day to bring you to our minds. The days we do not think of you are very hard to find. Each morning when we awake, we know that you are gone, and no one knows the heartache as we try to carry on. Our hearts still ache with sadness, and secret tears still flow. What it meant to love you, no one will ever know. Our thoughts are always with you, your place no one can fill. In life we loved you dearly, in death we love you still. There will always be a heartache, and often a silent tear, but always a precious memory of the days when you were here. If tears could make a staircase and heartache make a lane, we'd walk the path to heaven and bring you home again. We hold you close within our hearts, and there you will remain to walk with us throughout our lives until we meet again. Our family chain is broken now, and nothing seems the same. But as God calls us one by one, the chain will link again. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom. The verses and blessings that we recite in the Kiddush, the blessing over the wine, proclaim the holiness of Shabbat and trace it back to the creation of the world. We recite the blessing before drinking the wine, which is usually sweet. Sweet wine adds to the beauty of Shabbat, making it just a little bit sweeter. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Yum. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This year has been incredibly difficult for all of us, I'm sure. The joyous times don't seem as joyous, and the sorrowful times seem especially sad. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel. My son, who is an ER doctor, he's a psychiatrist in Baltimore. By the time we air this recording, he will have gotten the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. So we're very excited and thankful for that. He happens to work with a very high risk population, and people who are also, besides having mental issues, also have economic issues. And my daughter-in-law, as well as an endocrinologist at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, and she'll be getting the vaccine in the next couple of weeks. So for our family, we're so happy to see the first step to some sense of normalcy. Next year, hopefully by this time, we'll all be able to be together, to hug each other, love each other, celebrate, cry together, get that energy that we so desperately need as social animals. So until then, I wish you all Shana Tova, secularly speaking, and just keep the faith. Better times are ahead. Shabbat Shalom.
Some days we forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. so caught up inside ourselves, we take when we should give. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Look beyond ourselves, there's so much sorrow. It's way too late to say, I'll cry tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. We're so long overdue. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and every day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there is a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's love.
Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Hu et Adonai Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Hu et Adonai Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Hashem kevod malkuto leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu, v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
As we celebrate this Shabbat, our Christian brothers and sisters are also celebrating Christmas on this day. And they have a song called Silent Night. And now we're going to spend some moments in silent meditation because silence and contemplation is ubiquitous. It's a practice that is enjoyed and employed by religions all around the world. Because what makes our life special and sacred is a few moments of silent contemplation and reflection. To review how fortunate we are to have all of our blessings and the people in our lives and first responders and people who are coming up with vaccines, people who help us in so many ways. Without other people, our lives would be nothing and our lives would be impossible. We count on other people to grow our food, to prepare it for us in restaurants, to fix our cars, to do everything that we can imagine, and to cure us when we're sick. Without others, life would be meaningless. Let us take a few moments just to give thanks for all the people in our lives, for the natural wonders in our lives. And as we approach 2021, let us also take a few moments to contemplate how can we do better in the future, and how can we begin this new year with more love and more harmony than ever. As we start a new administration, let us think what we can do as Americans to join together with people across the political divide in order to make our lives better, make this land better, and to improve all of humanity and all living things on the planet. Let us spend a few moments in silent prayer.
מי שברך אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב. מי שברך אמותינו, שרה רבקה, לאה ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi shebeirach avotenu, mi shebeirach imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל אמרו, אמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו מעל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו מעל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו מעל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו מעל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו מעל כל ישראל.
Our Torah reading this Shabbat is from the last chapter of the book of Genesis, and it describes the final episode in the thrilling story of Joseph and his brothers. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach, Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam vahed, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Now in this story, Joseph is playing around with his brothers and getting a little retribution against them by setting up Benjamin and placing a goblet in his sack so that he was now pinned with a crime. And so now Joseph is telling his brothers that Benjamin must stay with him as a slave and the rest of the brothers can go back to Egypt. Some scholars think perhaps he was testing them to see if they had grown and matured from the time that they were willing to sell their brother into slavery. And indeed, if this was a test, they passed with flying colors. As Judah says, no, this would bring such sorrow to my father. Our father already lost one of his sons, Joseph. Of course, they did not know that Joseph was standing right there. And they said he would be heartbroken and bereft if he were now to lose Benjamin as well. Please, he said, we will stay here as your servants, but don't take Benjamin away from him. Please don't do this terrible thing. And after he said that, now the Torah picks up from there. V'lo yachol Yosef lihitapek l'chol hanitzavim alav. Joseph could no longer maintain the pretense. He could no longer control himself in front of all of those people who were standing there with him. V'yikra hotziu kol ish me'alai. Hotziu is related to the word motzi. Motzi means to bring out, like bring out bread from the earth. Hotziu, move out. Get out of here. Go out from me. Depart from me. V'lo amad ish ito v'hitvada Yosef el achav. And not a soul was with them when Joseph made his dramatic presence known to his brothers. Vayiten et kolo bibchi, and he burst out in tears. V'yishma'u mitzrayim, v'yishma bet paro. According to the Torah, his cry of joy was so loud, and his cry of emotion was so loud at hearing his brothers saying that they would sacrifice themselves to spare their father's feeling. It says that all of Egypt heard his cry, and all of the servants of Pharaoh heard him when he made himself known to his brothers. Vayomer Yosef el achav, and Joseph said to his brothers, Ani Yosef, ha'od avi chai. And he said to his brothers, I am Joseph. And after identifying himself, the first thing he says, does my father still live? Chai, of course, is live, and Avi is my father. V'lo yachlu echav la'anot oto ki nivhalu mifanav. His brothers were incapable of responding. They were dumbfounded. They were struck silent with emotion, with awe, and with surprise. Vayomer Yosef el achav, and Joseph said to his brothers, Geshuna elai v'yigeshu. And he said, please come towards me. And they approached him. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, just in case they forgot. You know, the one that you sold to the Egyptians into slavery. And then he calmed their soul. And he said, now, don't feel bad about what you did. Don't be angry with yourselves. Ki machaltem et oti hine ki le mechaye shalachani alehem shalachani Elohim lifnechem. And he said, you thought you were doing something bad, but God orchestrated this so that you would send me to Egypt to save the people. Ki zeh shnatayim ha'ra'av b'kerev ha'aretz, because there are 2 years now that we've been suffering this dreadful famine in the land. V'od chamesh shanim asher en charish v'katzir. And there's going to be another 5 years where there will be no harvest and no food. V'yishalchuni Elohim lifnechem. God sent me ahead of you in advance to Egypt. Lasum lachem she'arit ba'aretz u'lehachayot lachem leplita. In order to save a remnant of our people so that we would yet survive. Ulplita gedola va'ata lo atem shlachtem oti hine ki ha'Elohim v'yasmienu le'av le'faro u'le'adon le'chol beito. It was not you who sent me to Egypt. It was God who sent me here in order to save the people and in order to bring about a deliverance. Umishal b'chol eretz Mitzrayim maharu va'alu el avi va'amartem elav ko amar bincha Yosef Samani Elohim la'adon lachol Mitzrayim rada elai el alta amod v'yishbot ba'aretz Goshen. And he said, tell this to your father, that your son Joseph is alive and well. He is a leader in Egypt, and he will deliver you from famine. And he is asking you to come and join him and be with the family, and the family will settle in the land of Goshen. The blessing after the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chai olam nata bitochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. There's an old joke about the rabbi who's trying to think of something good to say about this person who had passed away and was incorrigible. There was like nothing he could think about that he could say. And so finally he came up with something. He said, well, his brother was worse. So we kind of see that with Joseph. Joseph starts out very arrogant, brash, a lot of chutzpah. But his brothers were worse. They actually wanted to kill him and sell him into slavery. Yes, Joseph maybe egged them on a little bit, but I believe most people would consider that to be somewhat of an overreaction. But Joseph, the star, the hero of the story, is a role model for all people and really exemplifies and epitomizes what Judaism is all about. He started out with hubris and with haughtiness. And instead, at the end, he matured and replaced hubris and haughtiness with humility and humanity for his brothers. They did the worst to him, and he had them where he wanted. He was the ultimate power in the world, second only to the Pharaoh. Life and death he held in his hands. And his brothers were in abject poverty. They had nothing. They didn't even have food to eat. He could have easily terminated their life, and they even offered to be his slave if they would save them and their father. And Joseph, in incredibly sublime and lofty language, after all that he had been through at the hands of his brothers, he says, am I a substitute for God? He says, you did this because it was part of God's plan. He whitewashed what they did. He could have made them feel so guilty. He didn't even do that. Instead, the Torah says he spoke to their heart. Hu diber al libam. He spoke to their heart, and he tried to make them feel okay for what they had done and said, don't worry, this was all part of God's plan. What an incredible lesson for all of us. Is there any one of us who has siblings that did something as horrible as sold us into slavery? Or fellow Jews? Have fellow Jews done anything to us? We get a tweet or an email and they say something bad, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm never going to talk to this person again. Let us learn from Joseph. The Torah starts out with the story of the beginning of the universe and the cosmos. And Genesis ends up with the story of the beginning of the Jewish people. And the Genesis saga begins in the early days of humanity when Cain says to God, am I my brother's keeper? Hashomel achi anochi. And the rest of the Torah is the answer, yes! Yes, we are our brother's keeper. How true it is. We would be nothing without our fellow human beings that provide everything for us. We're all interconnected. Later on in the Joseph story, he's wandering, he's lost, he can't find his brothers. He's actually very close to them, but he doesn't know quite where they are, and he sees a stranger. And he says, Ani mivakesh et achai. I'm looking for my brothers. But my brothers, achai, is related to, it sounds like the word chai, life. And his brothers, my brothers, that was his life. His family is his life, but he didn't realize it then. He treated them with arrogance and didn't appreciate them. So he was looking for his brothers. He couldn't find them, not just geographically, but they were nowhere to be seen. They were completely distant from him, as if on another planet. Joseph was the first Jew, because of the treachery of his brothers, to live in diaspora. He left the Holy Land and went into Egypt and became successful there, repeating the Jewish story throughout history of Jews arriving in another place, and when they are free to use their intelligence and their compassion and their ideals, they can save a country and make it truly prosper. And that's what Joseph did for Egypt. Wherever we go, it has been like that. And now in America, Jewish people are also Americanized, just as Joseph was Egyptianized. He took on an Egyptian name, Egyptian wife, Egyptian customs. We do the same. American customs, even if we have an American name or a Jewish name, it's still Americanized, or it's Germanic or Russian. So we too are like Joseph, living in diaspora. If we want to emulate Joseph and the great patriarchs of the Torah, we can do that by using our intelligence, our Jewish values and ideals, to make this world a better place and to save our country from the darkness and despair it finds itself in now. Jewish scientists are leading the charge. They are the heads and the leaders of the corporations that are helping us to figure out how to defeat the coronavirus. Pfizer, Moderna, they are led by Jews. Jewish people today are serving as Joseph did to save humanity. Let us do our part. Imagine if all Jews were working as one together to help benefit mankind, what we could do. That's what we look forward to in 2021. Joseph asked, I seek my brothers. He found them at the end of the story when he enlarged and increased, as his name applies, Joseph means to increase. As he enlarged and increased the amount of wisdom and compassion and tzedakah in his life, he then found his brothers. Not just geographically, he found them in his heart, and he was able to share his life with them, and what great benefit and joy it brought to him to be part of his family once again. Not over and above them, but part of the family. He also asked his brothers, does my father still live after 13 years of separation? He answered his own question. When he showed Rahmanas and compassion to his brethren, he showed that his father's soul and his father's goodness and his father's wisdom and compassion lives within him, as does the wisdom of his sages and his ancestors. He truly was able to overcome his anger. He had every reason to be mad, but he didn't exercise it. So we too, if we have reason to be upset or estranged from our brothers, we should not do so. He had reason to be mad, but he remembered his ancestors. His ancestors, each one was a nomad. And so he had no mad bone in his body for them. And now we see, as we enter 2021, we need a Joseph to lead us. Now, I'm not suggesting that our president-elect is a Joseph, but he does act in many ways that are similar, recognizing that we are prosperous. As Egypt has 7 good years and 7 bad years, we're prosperous, but we need to protect our future, which is threatened by climate change. So even though the horrific part of climate change that's going to bring the most damage and the most cataclysms and catastrophes. It isn't here yet. We're starting to experience it. It's not here yet. Biden is planning for the future by taking measures to try to deal with this scourge. He also has appointed many, many Jewish people in his cabinet, and even in his family, in the vice president's family, there are many Jewish people who will use Jewish ideals. Like Joseph, our president-elect is compassionate and has a heart that cares for other people and wants to try to build bridges and bring people together, as he brought together the Egyptians and the Jews and all other people. And so we hope that in this great year that's coming up, this will be so much better than the last one. And we hope that in 2021, as Congregation Va-Dor seeks to bring all Jews together, as for the first time we're having a traditional and a non-traditional service within the same congregation, I hope that in 2021 we'll overcome denominational barriers. We will conquer the virus of separation and isolation. We will no longer quarantine our Judaism just within our own people, but we will use our Jewish values to share love for all people. And that's why it's my thrill for the first time ever to share this Shabbat with the ladies of futurity. Because Va-Dor is building the Judaism of tomorrow. We are building the Judaism of the future. So we share this Shabbat with ladies of futurity who are taking people who could use a helping hand, who could use a little help and mentoring and financial assistance, and they are helping them to get through college and high school and to be able to take advantage of all the benefits of America so that the American dream will be able to be realized not just by the wealthy and not just by the privileged, but by all people. It is an honor to, on this Christmas day when we celebrate Shabbat, to join with our Christian brothers and sisters and to be a service to them. I congratulate them on what they're doing. I congratulate the board of Va-Dor for deciding that we want to share Shabbat with our Christian brothers and sisters and reach out to them on this day which takes a Jewish child and for some elevates him to the Savior and the Son of God, but for us, just someone who is adopted by others as a way to incorporate Jewish teachings into the world. Let us join together with our Christian brothers and sisters on this day and with our Muslim brothers and sisters and all people in order to enter the year 2021, enter the future, not just the ladies of futurity, but the men of futurity. Let us enter the future together so that all people of all religions and all nationalities and all races can work together in order to make 2021 the best year ever by using 2020 hindsight to do away with all the horrors of that past year and enter into a bright new future. Shabbat Shalom.
A mother-daughter duo out of West Palm Beach has been working for close to a decade to help high school girls become strong and successful young women. WPTV's Chris Gilmore spoke with the co-founders of Ladies of Futurity about what inspires them to inspire others.
At the time, she was a teenager, and I just saw that there was various things that, you know, she as a teenager needed, and possibly other girls in the community would need that same thing.
The nonprofit and brainchild of the Grahams is fueled by faith, and in the scripture, Proverbs 31:25. Strength and honor are her clothing. She rejoices over her future. The Grahams have a lot to rejoice. LOF helps roughly 35 young ladies each year and works to mentor, motivate, and inspire through community service, pursuit of higher education, and fostering leadership skills.
To be able to walk into a boardroom and let everybody know, yes, I am a woman, I am a double minority. However, I am able to do exactly what you're asking me to do and more. She could have focused on her, and she could have continued to only focus on me and my sister and her family. However, she took the time to be a mother to more than 35 girls per year. That nobody can sit and say that they're not proud of.
Hello, my name is Tracy Graham. I bring you greetings from Ladies of Futurity, an organization that was created to empower, motivate, and inspire teen girls to excel. Ladies of Futurity has been in existence for 8 years. Our mission has been to provide a platform that enriches the lives of teen girls through various programs, seminars, workshops, community service events, and leadership symposiums. Some of our accomplishments include that our girls earn more than 300 community service hours. We have a 99% success rate of college attendance. Each year we sponsor a self-awareness symposium for teen girls in the communities that expose them to vital information on health and wellness, mental health, and sex trafficking information. We have awarded more than 90 dormitory trunks to graduating seniors going off to college. We host an annual awards and scholarship gala to recognize and showcase teen girls for their accomplishments. And we have had the awesome opportunity to partner with numerous community organizations such as Quantum Foundation, the Salvation Army, Urban League, just to name a few. So with the current crisis that the world is experiencing right now, this is a great opportunity for both Jews and Christians to join together at this holiday season to help those in need and support a worthy cause by helping teenagers to not only stay in school, but to become leaders in their community and the insight to know that they too can achieve the American dream. So will you help us to help her? Shabbat Shalom.
Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Chen B'chesed V'rachamim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Amecha. Find this within us. Those despairing, we're repairing the world with love. Those in crisis, paying prices. We see you, we see you, we see you. Silenced voices without choices. We hear your cries. Shalom, Tova, Vracha, Hein Chesed Rachamim Aleinu, V'yal Kol Yisrael Necha, Torah Chayim, Ve'ava Chesed U'Tzedaka. Yisrael, Yisrael, bechol eit ubechol sha'ah, bishlomecha. Sim shalom, tova, bracha, chen b'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom, tova, uvracha, ein b'chesed rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו נקיי ארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהן, וגורל עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
As we now recite the last Kaddish of this year, 2020, let us use 2020 hindsight to look back over the year. We lost some people who are so precious. Congressman John Lewis, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and so many others. Let us try to be inspired by their example. People who fought courageously for justice, for courage, who spanned the religious and the political divide to be a person who worked with everyone, who had love in their heart for all people. Let us be inspired by them, and let us also think about the over 300,000 people that have passed away due to the coronavirus in America, and throughout the world so many more. Let us hope that we will be able to be done with this pandemic soon. And as we recite the Kaddish in their honor, let us also remember all of our loved ones and hope that through our deeds, their memory may be a blessing. Yiskedal v'yiskedash shemei rabah, v'yomad yivrach ruseh v'yamlich malchuseh, v'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayedu chol beis Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabah mivorach le'olam umei umaya, yisborach v'yistabach v'yispoah v'yishoma v'yisnaseh, v'yisadar v'yisaleh v'yisalal shemei kirishah b'rechu, le'elam enko b'rchasa v'shirasa, Jish b'chasa v'nechamasa, da'am yachon b'yama v'imru amen. Yehi shlam harabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Olseh shalom b'mromav, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Shabbat Shalom and an early Happy New Year 2021 to you all. This year has indeed been very difficult and so challenging. But we are thankful for our congregation, Va-Dor, Rabbi Barry Silver, Rose Lopater, Andy Susman, Arnie Pickles, and the many others who have allowed us to include their videos, music, and words to create these meaningful Shabbat services for us all. For this, we are so grateful. This Shabbat is very special. We're not only celebrating with this beautiful Friday evening Shabbat service, and of course, our wonderful Oneg Shabbat Zoom and Shmooze, which is held later tonight at 8:30 p.m. on Zoom, in which we hope you'll all participate. But we'll additionally celebrating online tomorrow morning on Zoom, Saturday, December 26th at 10:30 a.m. We will have a more traditional Shabbat morning service, led for us by cantorial soloist Andy Susman and Rabbi Barry Silver. We hope you'll be inspired and will be there too to enjoy this special Shabbat morning service with Va-Dor. We have a wonderful and interesting historical program this Sunday, December 27th at 4 p.m. for you, titled The Last of the Romanov Tsars and Their Fabulous Fabergé Eggs. It will be presented by Jeff Kajdan, live on Zoom. You won't want to miss this complimentary and interesting program. We are very fortunate to have our weekly chats with two rabbis each Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. where Rabbis V. Kahn and Rabbi Barry Silver share insights into the upcoming Torah Parsha and other relevant topics. We hope you'll join us for the next one coming up on December 29th, this Tuesday. Obtain the links for these Zoom programs from our voice email newsletters and our ladorvador.org website. Lador Va-Dor offers a very unique Judaism that will inspire you. It's all inclusive, all are welcomed, and it's a Judaism that honors our Jewish traditions, respects science, and celebrates spirituality. We welcome you to learn more about our inspirational Judaism based on modern understanding and reason. We think this will appeal to you, and we want you to share this with others. Learn more about Lador Va-Dor and all we have to offer within our voice email newsletters, our website, ladorvador.org, our YouTube channel, and our Facebook page. Please share this with someone else you know. If each of us did this, we'd get the word out about Lador Va-Dor, and that would make us all very proud. May each of you have an inspired and meaningful week ahead, and may the new year 2021 be one of hope and optimism, and may it radiate with light and shalom to all of us and to all of our homes. Shabbat Shalom with love from Lador Va-Dor to you.
Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May you be blessed and preserved throughout this pandemic and beyond into a healthy and happy 2021. May the light of love shine upon you always and from you as well. May you be lifted up by the power of love and the inspiring words from our tradition in order to make this a wonderful week and next year a glorious year. May we all, as a result of our inspiration from our heritage, become super spreaders of love, of joy, and of hope. May our love for others never be quarantined, and may our optimism and hope for the future be unmasked as we become super spreaders of Jewish ideals and values so that this new year will be the best year ever. Amen.
רבות עברם הזה בדרך, ואני הולך עם ראש למעלה, כל אחד ובנו בת של מלך. ככה היה, וככה זה גם עלה, יהודים נשמה בוערת. בכל מקום ובכל ארץ, לא רוצה שיהיה אחרת. יהודי אני, זה משהו נצחי. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. A little bit of history I've been through. Ask me where I'm from, and I will tell you I'm a Jew, and every Jew's a proud Jew. Not just me, my sisters and my brothers. Never be ashamed to be a proud Jew. It's not what you've done, it's how he made you. So sing this song and spread the pride around you. Yehudi ani, eternally. Bnei Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, bnei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Bnei Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, bnei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem, elikei hashamayim ani yoreh. 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 Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem, elikei hashamayim ani yoreh.
can I do for you, officer?
License and registration, please.
Here you go.